Captain's Log, Stardate Today. We are joined today by David Majors and Heather Kirby of the Promenade Merchants podcast. Welcome, David and Heather. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Hey, Kat. Thanks so much for having us on.
Oh, we're so excited to have you. We were so sorry to miss you guys. We had to postpone our show by a week due to connectivity issues, but we are back. So let me tell you a little bit about Stardate Today and what we do here. We started out on TikTok just making silly little videos about, away missions around our apartment during the pandemic, and it sort of grew into a desire to create a podcast. I wrapped up my internship on The Seventh Rule, which is a podcast that was hosted by Aaron Eisenberg, Sarah Lofton, and Ryan T. Husk. And they said, hey, Kat, why don't you go and do your own podcast? We'd love to, to plug that for you. And so I was like, what in this day and age am I going to do a podcast that isn't already being done, especially for Star Trek? There are hundreds of podcasts. So I did a little bit of research and I found out there are literally hundreds, if not maybe over 1,000 Star Trek themed podcasts, not to mention non-Star Trek, but sci-fi podcasts out there. So we decided, my fiance and I, who's not with me now because she's kicking such royal ass at the Game Pass and our fundraising efforts right now with Microsoft Rewards. But so my fiance and I decided, let's do a podcast all about first contact with other podcasts. So this is welcome to our First Contact series. We're making first contact with Promenade Merchants today, and we're going to play a game with you. And then once we're done with that game, we'll play one more. And then after that, we part ways, but we want to definitely make sure that everybody has a chance to speak and it's recognized. And so our show is really about cross promotion and trying to just get the community to come together more as often as possible and stay connected especially during the pandemic. So our first season is all about first contact. So welcome you two. We're really, really happy to have you. And let's hear from Heather and David a little bit about your podcast. Tell us about Promenade Merchants. Tell us when your show airs and how we can watch it, and then whatever else you'd like to share, go for it. How about we start with Heather?
Okay, well, we are a scrappy independent podcast, as we like to say, yes. That we record an episode every 2 weeks or so. Our next episode recording is going to be next Sunday. Okay, so we're doing this tonight instead of recording an episode.
Okay.
But we've been recording episodes for about a little over a year now. I think we started last year.
Yeah. Has it been a year? Yeah.
Wow. You're a veteran now. Look at you.
Just about.
Very cool.
Yeah. And so David and I have actually never met in person.
Oh, wow. That's also very cool.
Yeah. We just kind of became friends over the internet. And he ironically lives not too far away from me. He lives in Michigan. I live in Ohio. Okay. And so hopefully when this whole pandemic is over, we'll get to finally meet in person.
That would be terrific. I would love for both of you to come to the Star Trek convention in Las Vegas sometime. That's my hangout. That's where I go every year. We've really missed it.
It is on the bucket list for sure.
Okay.
I have been to.
Okay, so Heather's not been. You've never been to Vegas.
I've never been either.
No,
you will. You will.
I have been to a lot of conventions. Most of them anime, because in my podcasting career, I guess you can call it, I've done a lot of conventions revolving around anime. And now I've kind of re-embraced my Star Trek fandom, and Star Trek Las Vegas. As it was once called, is definitely on my bucket list.
It's Trekka. It's Trek Mecca for sure. It's definitely on the bucket list. That's fantastic.
But for Promenade, I will say that I was looking for my next podcast project, because podcasting is kind of my form of artistic expression. Some people write, some people cosplay. I make podcasts. Cool. And I knew that I wanted a co-host for a Star Trek podcast. And number one on the list is that it had to be a woman. It had to be someone different than me, someone with a different outlook, different worldview, different perspective than my own. And I found this wonderful Star Trek fan, an utterly charming woman named Heather, despite being from Ohio. And I just felt like it was the right person for the job. And here we are today on Stardate Today.
Right. Yes. Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the podcast itself. So what does the podcast cover, or what's the show format like? And, give us a little bit of a pitch about your show.
Promenade Merchants is what I like to call sort of a bite-sized Star Trek podcast. My idea was Promenade would stay relatively decently sized, no more than 45 minutes.
Mhm.
In our show, we try and have sort of a DS9 aesthetic, if I can really deep dive here. It's more
Okay.
like if you're walking through DS9, walking in the hallways, and you're walking through the shops on the station, you might see a couple of people just sitting around having a ractigino, talking about what's happening in the world. We cover old business, which is what might be talked about in classic Star Trek, pretty much everything up to Enterprise and the Kelvin movies. We talk about new business, any kind of breaking news that's happening in Star Trek right now. And then we go upcoming to see what might be happening, pun always intended, beyond. And we try and keep it laid back, free, and easy. I might make a bad joke every now and then or a terrible pun, and it's a podcast.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. It's a wonderful sounding. I like how you described it, like old business, everything kind of leading up to now, new business, everything that's happening obviously now with the franchise.
I'm very pretentious.
Are you? That's okay. That's okay. Though, because pretentious can actually be really fun and really fun to mess with. I like to have fun with my show for sure. Very cool. Well, welcome. I really am. I'm really happy to have you both. So let me tell you. So what we decided to do this year was we would play some Mad Libs. So we actually bought the Star Trek themed Mad Libs. You can see the front cover here. Bam, Star Trek. So it's really legit. Well, you can kind of see it. All right, so it's not perfect, but it's there. So Star Trek Mad Libs, and today we're gonna do a round of Mad Libs. I will not tell you the title of the story, and I'm not gonna say anything else. We're just gonna go through the story, and I'm gonna fill everything in. We have, let's see, let me count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have about 13 words that we need to come up with relatively fast. So don't hesitate to fire away at me and just throw whatever what the first thing is that comes into your mind, and let's just keep it moving at a quick pace so that we can get through this quickly and that we can read it back with plenty of time to spare for Super Fight.
All right, so, Heather, I'm going to let you go first on it.
You ready, Heather? Let's go, darling. So
let's go back and forth with it.
Yeah, let's just ping pong back and forth. No worries. The very first thing we need is an article of clothing.
Uniform.
Okay. And we need a noun.
A cigar.
Cigar. Oh, I like that. Oh, this is going to be fun already. I can tell. Okay, we're going to need another noun as well.
Knife.
Okay, good. Oh, this is going to be really interesting. Okay, occupation, and this should be plural. So definitely the name of a job or an occupation in the plural.
Holodeck waste disposal.
Oh, I love it. See, you're already in the spirit of things. Don't hold back now. Don't hold back. Trust me. It's going to get better and better as we go along with this kind of suggestion. I love this. Okay, we need an adjective.
Hairy.
Ooh, I like that. I was always thinking something textural, like something textural would be fun. Okay, let's go with verb. We actually need 2 verbs.
Punching and kicking.
Oh, I like it. Punch and kick. Let's do punch and kick. Yeah, let's do punch and kick, because sometimes it asks specifically for it, like as a gerund, and sometimes it doesn't, but we get real technical with the grammar and Mad Libs. We really do. I'm an English teacher by trade, so I tend to red pen my
Very important. It's very important.
It's all good. Okay, so let's go with, we need a noun and another verb.
Phaser and transport.
Ooh, I like it. You're really in the spirit, the Trek spirit. This is going to be fantastic. Okay, we need a noun, and we also need a part of the body. So Heather could be thinking of that part of the body while we're thinking of the noun.
I've got for a noun, cereal.
Cereal, I love it. Beautiful, beautiful. And that part of the body in the plural. That's right. Not safe for work. Don't hold back now.
Nope.
There could be any part of the body. It could be any part, David. Any.
Okay, I'm thinking alien here. So I'm thinking like ridges.
Oh, I like it.
That count? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. That's a body part for sure. And okay, so we just need a verb and a number. So Heather, be thinking about a number, and David, we just need a verb from you.
Crunch.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Perfect. Okay, perfect. All right, and then we need a number.
47.
Yes. I love it. I thought you were going to say 42 for a second. I love the Hitchhiker's Guide reference.
Oh, that's too on brand.
Too on. You're right. You're right. Touche. All right. Are you ready for the red shirt? A cautionary tale.
Yes.
Let's do this. Everyone knows that if you're wearing a red uniform on the USS Enterprise and are asked to join the landing cigar, you are sure to fill out your last will and knife. In fact, 73% of all deaths occur to those holodeck waste disposal who are wearing red shirts. If you go to Starfleet Academy and are placed in the engineering or security fields, here are a few hairy tips to stay alive. Number 1, hide. If no one sees you, no one can punch you to join the landing party. And 2, stand in the back. Let the red shirt in front of you kick a phaser to the chest. 3, duck. Have you ever seen a red shirt transport behind a cereal or do a shoulder roll? Number 4, keep your ridges crossed. Just because, I like that one. Keep your ridges crossed. Just because 73% of red shirts crunch doesn't mean you have to be one of them. Be part of the 47% club. That's hilarious. So there actually could be a small percentage of red shirts who do make it through the mission after all.
I feel like keep your ridges crossed feels like a Lower Decks joke.
That does. That feels like such a lower Decks joke for me, for sure. And that was the red shirt, a cautionary tale. Well done, you two. Thank you for that. I enjoyed that very much. I love Mad Lib. I don't know about you, but I grew up with Mad Libs, like on road trips. We would.
Oh yeah.
Do Mad Libs in the car. And then when I was teaching, I would use Mad Libs in my ELD class. The kids absolutely love doing Mad Libs. I love coming up with adjectives and filling in the blanks. And of course, they always come up with the naughty things, and I'd always have to say, watch that. Watch that.
Yes.
All right,
don't tell your parents.
I know. I had to be very careful when I was teaching because I'm like a big grown-up kid too. I had to watch what I'd say. All right, so let's move on to Sci-Fi Super Fight. This is a brand new game that we've decided to go ahead and play. We bought this from Hot Topic, so anybody can get it. It's about $15 for a pack. We actually picked up the Sci-Fi edition, but we also have the original big pack, and you definitely don't need that to actually play the game the way that we do. We made up our own rules because fuck it. So that's how I do. I just make up my own rules. I was the game lady when I was teaching. Everybody called me the game lady, and I like that. It's much of a compliment. So, all right, so how we play. I have 2 champions, and David, you're going to pick one, and Heather, you're going to pick the other. And I'm going to tell you who they are. Now, each of your champions has an advantage or has some sort of skill or some sort of boon, okay? And so your job is to decide who would win in a fight, okay? So let's do it. We have today in corner number 1, the Xenomorph Queen from Alien. However, this Xenomorph Queen is no ordinary Xenomorph Queen. Oh no, this queen graduated top of their class from Starfleet Academy. Yes, and in corner number 2, we have Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica. That's right, Starbuck, the female Starbuck. That's right, I said it, the female Starbuck. Kara Thrace herself, driving a hover car. Go. Actually, let's see. David, who do you want to pick one? Do you want to go first to pick one? I guess I should.
I'm still trying to figure out how the Xenomorph got into Starfleet Academy.
I know. I was thinking to myself, I just pull these randomly out of the box and just whatever comes up.
Does that even work in the Universal Translator?
It might, but maybe there's more to the Xenomorph Queen than we ever thought.
Okay,
apparently,
I'll pick the Xenomorph.
All right, so David's going to go to bat for the Xenomorph Queen who graduated top of their class from the Starfleet Academy, and Miss Heather, you're going to bat for Starbuck, who is now driving a hover car, probably pretty well since she's an ace pilot, right?
Absolutely well. Yeah, I wanted to pick Kara Thrace anyway. So.
Oh, see, so they're all right. So
all right.
You have your champions. You know what their boons are. Who wins?
Well, what kind of battle are we in? Because I mean, Starbuck is in a hover car, and does the Xenomorph Queen have a car?
Pick a location.
Does she have some sort of transport?
Right. The location is that episode of Voyager with the Rock, the Tsunkatse.
The Tsunkatse, the Rock episode in the little fight ring. Yes.
There it is.
It's hand-to-hand combat.
It's an arena. There are fans there. We've got Battlestar Galactica. We've got the Xenomorph. and it's about to go down.
It's about to go down. Who wins? How does you know that the Xenomorph Queen will win against Starbuck? How do you know? Brute force or what? What do you think?
Speed.
She's fast.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not brute force. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Xenomorph has the edge on brute force here, but you know, Starbuck has the speed. She has the transportation because she does have her hover car, so you know she can maneuver a little bit better around the Xenomorph Queen, while she's trying to dodge stuff and yeah.
I don't know. You're making a compelling argument for Starbuck. I can't see the Xenomorph outmaneuvering Starbuck. Can you? I mean, come on, David. What do you think? It won't matter. Oh, okay. Well, what makes you say that?
Because hours before, the Xenomorph killed everyone in the building and ruined all of the lights, so it's pitch black.
No.
And
it's a lost cause from the very beginning, before the match.
Before you know it, she's there by herself. And the Xenomorph is already just going to be just waiting.
I like your alien. I like your Xenomorph
in the grass.
Like with the little thing that shoots out, the little mini alien thing inside her mouth.
It's already dripping. It's already dripping on you without even realizing it. That hover bike, it's already been wrecked. It's already been destroyed.
I mean, he makes a good point. I don't know how you come back from that, Heather. What do you think? I mean, she's got the hover car, so
yeah. She's got the hover car, and I'm just gonna sit there and say that I mean, a hover car has to have some horsepower to it.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It can break out of that building. So I mean, we're talking like Starbuck is. She's got the balls to just go driving straight for the wall and bust out. And so she's not confined to that dark space.
I mean, I say if you have to, she would be like an Ellen Ripley. She would totally be just as badass. If you put Starbuck in Alien and just had Starbuck going head to head with the alien, I think you'd get the same result. You know, she'd survive, but she would be the only one surviving.
Oh yeah, yeah, she's a survivor for sure.
But we already know that the Xenomorph has probably already had offspring all over the place.
Oh, that's
already
true.
hunting Starbuck down to just to eat her alive.
Yeah, there might already be one inside Starbuck, but when she woke up and went to the match, or whatever got thrown into the match on the ring, she might already have one in her.
The morning of the fight, she might have felt a stomach ache without even realizing it. And then as soon as she's getting away, she starts.
I think David wins just for that face right now, just for the face alone. Win. Well, it's really hard to say, because I think that it's definitely possible for Starbuck to get away from the queen, but to win the fight, I mean, I think it would be really hard. Is she armed? That's what we don't know. We don't know whether or not, because it's not clear in the super fight rules, whether or not she's armed, because if she has a weapon, she's also a pretty fierce soldier and like ground combat. So it's possible she could fight pretty strongly. So I don't know. I'd say I give her, I don't know, a couple of fair chances to at least get a few shots in.
In 1,000 simulations, how many would Starbuck win, and how many would the Xenomorph win?
Oh gosh. Okay. I think okay, you're right. I think the Xenomorph would probably win more frequently if you had to take averages and like give her a chance to like die and go back and do it over and over and over again, kind of like if she were a holodeck character and she died and came back and died and came back, like rinse repeat kind of a thing. Yeah, that'd be fun.
47%.
47. Yeah, but
that checks out.
Exactly, it's close, but it's still the Xenomorph. I think the Xenomorph still wins. Yeah,
that checks out. I did the math just now. And exactly 472. So 47%. Yeah, you're right.
Wow, and
the math checks out.
That's the same number that we picked for our Mad Lib today, guys. Oh my god.
Exactly.
The stars, it's like some weird freaky thing happening. Oh my god.
This is why, Heather. This is why, right here.
I love this game. What did you think of Sci-Fi Super Fight? You like this game? It's fun, isn't it? It's fun
to think
about. Yes, it's just fun to think about characters in different ways. And I like that we decided we'll put them in a setting, because the game doesn't include a setting. But I know, actually, you know what? There might be a setting card in the original deck, and I could probably just pull one out and just use that. I think for one of them, our setting was like Hoth. We chose Hoth from Star Wars or whatever, and we had them in an asteroid field or something. So I like that. I like we get to choose, the setting amongst ourselves and then just say go. I like that. That's a lot of fun. So yes. Thank you both for joining me. I really appreciate your time. Remind us again of when your show is and where we can see it again.
Okay, I'll handle this one. Heather Kirby and I, we host the Promenade Merchants podcast. It is available every 2 weeks in your podcatcher of choice: Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon, Google Music. Look for it by name, the Promenade Merchants. It's a Star Trek podcast. It's a fairly bite-sized, laid-back, kind of chill podcast. Your favorite Star Trek podcast, favorite Star Trek podcast. We cover old business, new business, and upcoming business, and everything in the world of Star Trek. So sit down, have a Ractigino, and join Heather and I as we talk about Star Trek and occasionally Law and Order SVU.
Ooh, Law and Order SVU. I love Law and Order. Okay, are you on the new business for Law and Order? Or are you guys doing a rewatch of like the old stuff, or how are you doing? You just kind of bring it up once in a while when it
just kind of comes up because we both realize that we're also both big fans of SVU. And just
I love SVU.
It'll come up kind of organically.
It comes up very organically. I'm a huge fan, and actually, ironically, today I just sent David a list of episodes from the current season that he needed to watch to get caught up on.
I watched them all.
You know what's funny? I used to when I do the Voyager rewatches, I would do Voyager, and then I started watching Lost. And I saw these parallels to Lost, and like I picked a character in Lost for every character in Voyager, and I went with this whole thing where like Lost and Voyager were basically the same story, except Lost has the hatch, and then there's like a hatch, and there's hatches. There's plenty of hatches in Voyager.
Here's a question for you, Kat.
Yes, David.
Lost or Voyager? Which ending did you prefer?
I would still pick Lost ending over Voyager's ending. Voyager, they broke our hearts.
Agreed.
They just broke our, no ending could be as bad as Voyager's ending. They broke our hearts. They didn't give us an epilogue at all about any of these characters. It was just like, what was the point of that 7-year journey? Just to get home and then blank out to the title credits? That's lame.
Thank you.
It has to be said. And I'm sure it's been said, but I get to say it too, because this is my show. So yeah. Fuck that finale. That was bullshit. But anyway,
it sucked.
And on that lovely, happy, and positive note, Star Trek Voyager is my favorite series of all the series. I want to say I'm extremely proud of the Voyager documentary. I did give. I hope that anybody who was able to give gets their perks and is excited about their perks as I am for that Janeway shirt. I cannot wait for the Janeway shirt. Oh,
yes.
I can't wait to wear it to the convention with everybody. We're gonna have a group photo with everyone wearing our shirts, and we're gonna have a huge moment, and it's gonna be amazing.
I'm really thinking about that Zoom call with Garrett Wang and Bobby McNeil. I'm really thinking about that.
Yeah, I know. And I wanted to do the Terry Farrell thing, but I think someone already got the Terry Farrell. I think they only were giving one away for Terry Farrell meet and greet, but it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. I know. And the thing is, we have opportunities, and when we host podcasts, and as a freelance journalist, I have opportunities to meet them and talk to them and interview them for other things. So I try to let other people have opportunities that I would ordinarily have that they wouldn't. So, I just try to let other people have that fun, because I know Garrett. Garrett and I are actually working on Garrett's signed to a project that we're working on. It's an indie sci-fi project called Project Abaddon. But but we're in the middle of doing this thing with Warner Brothers right now. Possibly might pick it up. So if that happens, then it won't be an indie sci-fi thing. It'll get sold to the studio, and the studio will take it over.
It'll be a big sci-fi thing.
It'll be a big sci-fi adventure. But Project Abaddon's out there. If you want to check out the website, it's projectabaddon.com. And Garrett and Anthony Montgomery and a bunch of other guys in Star Trek. Dan Curry was directing. And the guy who invented the Bat'leth, the 7-time Emmy Award-winning Dan Curry, yes, our Klingon guru and visual effects master extraordinaire himself. He's working on this too. For the last couple of years, they've been working on this Abaddon project. We've been doing this for a couple of years, but now we're only a few weeks. It's pilot season, so we're trying to convert it from a feature into a series, into a serialized series for maybe HBO Max or something. But We don't know yet. I don't want to say words or prayers, you know. Every time I say something, we get stalled. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut until I hear the words. So, but thank you again, both of you, for being on with Stardate today. I'm going to end our log right now and stop recording. And you guys have a great, fantastic rest of your weekend.
Thanks so much, Kat. Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.